Well, welcome to the Junk to Jules podcast with Georgette Beck. Thank you so much. You're either listening or watching, and we appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would so appreciate you following the show and sharing it with a friend. And since we're talking about subscribing, how about check out the new book that is out, Junk to Jules book, A Journey from Brokenness and Despair to Beauty and Delight with Georgette. It is on Amazon, and however you like to read, it is audio, ebook, book, and we appreciate your support. Today, I'm so blessed to bring on Dana Trabulsy. I have known her for a lot of years now, and I've seen her just blossom, grow, and shine. And if you meet her in person ever, you're just going to feel the love. Her heart is just so profoundly sweet. You just sense it, and she cares. You know right off the bat. But I have an official bio I want to share with you. So Representative Dana Trabulsy was originally from outside Atlanta, Georgia, and she made Florida her home in 1986 and proudly calls St. Lucie County home since 1991. And in 2016, with the encouragement of her family and friends, she founded All Things Treasure Coast. That's a community-driven marketing and digital advertising agency that quickly became one of the top-ranked platforms in this region. And she gifted that back to the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce later. She then accepted a position with the Children's Forum, a statewide nonprofit dedicated to improving the quality of life of childcare and education. And then before becoming an entrepreneur, Dana served as Director of Marketing and Public Relations for Panera Bread on Florida's East Coast. In 2020, Dana was elected to the Florida House of Representatives and has since been honored to be reelected. She currently serves on a lot of committees, and we're going to go into that in the interview. Chair of Education Administration Subcommittee, Vice Chair of the Pre-K through 12 Budget Subcommittee, Education Employment Committee, Health and Human Services Committee, Healthcare Budget Subcommittee, Rules and Ethics Committee. And in 2022, Governor Ron DeSantis appointed Dana to the Career Source Florida Board of Directors, where she continues to serve. She was also appointed by the Speaker of the House to the Council for Early Grade Success and Florida Progressive Supranuclear Palsy and Other Degenerative Diseases Policy Committee. Locally, she serves on the Board of Directors of St. Lucie County Education Foundation and the Roundtable of St. Lucie County. Her heart's for Florida's most vulnerable, children and families, and we have that in common, Dana, and I'm going to ask you questions on that. But proudly, her most proud thing is her family. She is blessed. She says her children actually raised her. Together with her husband, they've built a successful, loving, blended family. And her belief, I love this statement. She lives by a belief, and this belief says, it's not what you have in life, but what you do with what you have. That defines true purpose and service. Welcome to the Junk to Jules podcast, Representative Dana Trabulsy from District 84. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's really weird to listen to your bio, isn't it?
Isn't it? It is very much weird, but you are amazing. So many questions. First off, I remember you and I sat down and I had invited you out for lunch because I always reach out to those I look up to and women I can learn from. And you're a wonderful mentor because I have these great ambitions like a lot of people I know, but I struggle with insecurity, self-esteem, all that. So I always wonder, how can I do it? Well, it's one step at a time. And when you get an opportunity, right, if you feel led, you follow an inspiration and you take that next step. You have so much on your plate, but you've grown into it, I think. So let's start from the beginning, Dana. You're from Georgia. Tell us a little bit about your family, where you come from.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in a little town called Jonesboro, Georgia, which is about 30 miles south of Atlanta and about an hour north of Macon. I grew up on adjoining lakes, Lake Jotico and Lake Spivey. And I was born in 1964. So I think that I grew up in one of the best times in our country because it was before the internet, not much TV, crime was low. It was just a peaceful community. We could go out and play all day long, come home for dinner. Sadly, my children didn't get to experience that kind of life growing up, but I have friends that I went to kindergarten all the way into junior college with. So it was a great place to grow up. My mom and dad, a little bit of a messy story. And I think we all have a little, messy stories, and social media sometimes speaks too loudly to those stories that we have today, although it sometimes can be a great outlet for us too. But I know during that era, nobody really talked about what was going on behind the doors. Everybody just kept quiet and dealt with things silently. And we did that a lot in our home. My parents were great people. They came from, it's a generational thing. They came to their marriage with issues, and that bled into our family. My parents actually were divorced and married to each other 3 times.
I love that.
As a matter of fact,
parents, they got separated several times and then found Jesus. Well, my mom already knew Jesus, but they both found Jesus and they remarried.
Each other or without each other.
Right.
And my mom passed away. Gosh, it's been over 20 years now. And then my dad passed away a few years later. And at his funeral, I actually poured her ashes into his urn so that they would be together forever.
Oh my gosh, that is so original.
I had one brother. His name was John. He's 6 years older than me. He passed away when I was pregnant with my daughter. He passed away of AIDS. And a lot of what I do in my job with the house, with the state, I honor him. So every year I apply and have been able to get money for HIV and AIDS research, which has been great. I helped to co-sponsor a bill that allows over-the-counter medication without a prescription for people that have been exposed to HIV for short-term use. So I try to keep his spirit alive really in everything that I do.
That's beautiful. That's powerful, Dana. So when you came to Florida in 1986, what were you doing then when you first came? Did you already have your family?
No. Later? I came down on vacation. I, at that time, was working for Bennigan's. I was bartending. It was great. And I think being in the service industry, and I was in the service industry for a long time, probably even through Panera Bread. So quite a long time. But I came down with a guy on vacation and I liked it. And I never went back. I went back to pack. Yeah. Came back a week later and I just never left.
Oh my gosh. 1986, it was my graduation from high school year.
Really?
Yeah, I graduated high school. 97 was when I came here. So I was a little bit behind you there. But yeah, Florida sunshine. I realized the winters were too long. Depression. I was like, oh my gosh, the sunshine made all the difference.
I was brave enough to make that decision to I'm going to move away and I'm going to do my own thing. My poor mom, I think of my children now, and if either of my children would have done something like that, I would have lost my mind.
Right.
But, we put our parents through a lot too. Yeah. You realize that later, retrospectively.
Yeah, hindsight's 2020. In my book, I talk about the rescue that my parents do. You don't realize generational repeats. It's the positive and the negative. And that's why when I talk to folks about knowing yourself, that includes knowing your family background and understanding the truth of it and moving forward with what you learned. So we married young, and they all married young back in the day. And the education wasn't a priority back then. But a lot of us, we're meant to be learners, and we didn't even know that. So I love all the stuff you're involved in. All things Treasure Coast. That's when I think that's when I met you, or Panera's, because I know I reached out to Panera's a few times. You guys built something really special on the Treasure Coast. Like, you brought all the local businesses together in a venue that we could get to know each other, support each other. We had this yearly event that you guys pulled off, and a giant place filled up the venue. And that was awesome. So kudos to you on that. That just blew up. That was fabulous. You guys were good at that. That was really good.
Thank you. It was a really fun time. Again, another leap of faith to just say, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start a business. I had a mentor out of Brevard County, a woman named Tracy, who owns everything Brevard. She became a great friend and mentor and walked me through the process on how to get it started, and I truly loved it. It was a great business. It was lucrative, but it did bring people together, and it gave people a one place to really learn about businesses in a fun way, but also learn about what was going on. We had a really great calendar of events.
Don't you love it when women support women? And
I do.
Yeah, they help raise them up. Isn't that beautiful?
That's what we're meant to do.
Yeah, we are. I love that. I love that. When I share two men, I love that idea of mentorship because it is very, very powerful. I was a big sister for Big Brother, Big Sister, and that whole thing is very, very impactful. When I was a young girl in my first corporate job, the HR manager at the time was a woman, and there wasn't many women in leadership positions, a few. But she took me under her wing and she taught me the whole idea of mentorship. She's like, you want to be a manager someday, or you want to learn what they're doing and how they did it, go ask them out to lunch, all the managers. And I did. But so she was my first mentor, and you remember them. So did you have well, I'll ask that question at the end. I love the questions about that at mentors. So what brought you into the politic arena? How did that happen? That was that always something on your heart, or was that just one of those God things where he opened this door and asked you to walk through?
Well, he opened the door. I closed it multiple times. It's a funny story. So I'm just trucking along with all things Treasure Coast, living my best life. It's good. And COVID came along.
Oh my gosh.
And everything stopped, like all the events stopped. People's businesses were closing, or at least they had to scale back on, advertising budgets and things like that, because they were, really living, paycheck to paycheck. And I got a phone call from, now she's Senator Grahl, but then Representative Grahl. And she had been tasked by leadership to find someone to run as a Republican in this seat, because it had always been held by a Democrat, and our Republican majority was really trying to gain some more seats. And I just laughed and I said, no, it is not for me. That is not on my bucket list. Absolutely not. And she kept asking, and I kept saying no. And she invited me to Tallahassee. Yeah. She invited me to Tallahassee and said, well, at least just come to Tallahassee and check it out. Yeah. And I said, okay. So it was interesting. It was eye-opening. It was not what I expected. She introduced me to several women leaders I was impressed by.
Yes, I agree.
It was really cool. And I am friends with them today. And I still have, part of their fan club. Like, they're stars to me. And then I went to a party, and I got to meet the incoming speaker and other people. And the funny part is, somebody mentioned Teresa Aronson's name. We all know Teresa from the chamber.
Yes.
And so I called her and I said, are you thinking about running for this seat? Because if you are, I won't. And she goes, no. If you are, I won't. And she subsequently was on her way to Tallahassee to do the same world tour that I was. And so we decided we would go through and meet everybody and do all the things, and then we would talk about it. So that's what we did. So on our ride home separately, Tallahassee, she's like, I don't think I can do this. And I said, I don't think I can either. Like, these women look exhausted. And so we both said no.
It's very scary, daunting.
Yes. We both said no again. And then my kids and my husband they really encouraged me. It was a family decision. We sat down together. We prayed about it. We knew that if we were going to make this decision, at least I've had this experience, that most people don't have the opportunity or take the opportunity. Or if I win, I can figure it out from there, because I have no idea what I'm doing.
I love it.
And so I just say COVID made me do it. It's COVID brain.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love it. Marie Forlilio, I listened to her podcast and I read her book, Everything is Figure Outable. I have to tell you because I get nervous about trying new things sometimes, even though I always want to try new things. I still get scared, but you're right. You took that step of faith, and it is like that's scary, but God's so funny, isn't he? He brings opportunities that we would laugh at because we're like, that would never happen. But he finds a way, and you did it, and you won, and here you are. And now you've been on all these committees that you've made an impact. And I've got a sheet here. So you're now all of these bills, I guess they're called, right? I'm learning about legislation things. You were responsible or part of helping each of these items pass. Is that what this is? All of these bills?
Those are all the bills that I have put forward and that have passed.
Wow. So how long have you been serving now? Let's see, since 2020?
I just finished my 5th session, or actually session is not over yet because we haven't gotten it together with the budget. Hopefully we'll sign that this week. But theoretically, I just finished my 5th session.
I'm getting goosebumps, Dana. This is an anointing. You are called to this position and you are doing it very, very well. I love this scripture because it's one of my mottos. I want to be that person when I go home to see Jesus, that I did the 10. Like I exhausted everything I am and who I am, and you're doing that. Like 2021, you started off with 3, you're getting your feet wet. And then 2022, you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. 2023, it's like more. You added another, like several bills, student outcomes, like all the suicide prevention, controlled substance testing, Florida Kid Care Program eligibility. 2024, the HIV infection prevention, drug dependent children, public record suicide. Like you are in education stuff. And then it got even more. You're serving on committees too and boards of directors there. How do you find the time? Talk about like your daily life. What does it look like a little bit? Show us your day.
Oh gosh. Well,
that's a lot of impact there. Well,
thank you. So my day starts out with prayer.
Amen.
And
Amen.
It has to start out with prayer. And what's really great on that note is Jesus is alive and well in the Florida house.
Yes. Amen. Wow.
It is so great. We have some type of prayer group every single day that we can be a part of. Tuesdays, we can meet on the 22nd floor and overlook Tallahassee. And we have a little prayer group. Myself and my CEO of my full-time job and my aide, Sasha, we started a women's Bible study group on Wednesday mornings. And it's really great because it's for anybody. It's not just for representatives and senators. It's for aides. It's for anybody that wants to come. Like any woman that wants to come to this Bible study can come.
That's wonderful. Oh, we lost your vision.
Just come when you can.
Yeah, I love that. We just lost you for
so. Are you there?
Yeah, we lost your connection for a bit. You froze, so we'll edit that part.
Okay.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's wonderful. We have people that come to Tallahassee to pray over us. We have a woman named Miss Pam who walks the halls all the time, knows each of us by name, and will just lay her hands on us at any given time and just bring us to our knees in prayer. So that's what kind of gets me through the days because it's always available and welcome. And I love that.
That's excellent.
It is. So, all right, that's how I start my day. Usually I'm at the Capitol around 7:30. Okay. And we just hit the ground running. We make lots of appointments during the day during committee weeks. We'll have our committees that we attend during the day. Usually it's, 2 to 3 a day. And we'll work on our legislation. We'll meet with constituents that come up any given day. It's usually probably about 15, 16 meetings of people coming up to visit.
Like someone like me that wants to come meet with my representative, that we can make an appointment and come talk. And
absolutely. I love it when people from home come, but people are advocating for their bills, or they're advocating for what they're passionate about. They're advocating for appropriations that they're bringing forward. So it's a whole different array of things, but we're a yes office. We feel, maybe it's my years in the restaurant business, but to me, this is just a customer service job, and I'm in the customer service business. So we are a yes office. If we can make it happen, we will make it happen. So my days are really full after work. Then we're doing the things that you do after work, which is a lot of networking events. And generally I'll get home about, I don't know.
Now, 10? Do you commute? Are you living in Tallahassee for portions of the year? Do you live here locally on the Treasure Coast? How does that work?
So I live on the Treasure Coast, but during committee weeks and session, I rent a condo with another representative. So I have a roommate. It's just a place to lay our head at night. And so we do a 6-month lease every year, and I'll come home on the weekends.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh my gosh. So a little bit of hardship on the family a little bit, but everyone was involved. It's a family decision, and that means they're all involved. And I love locally. I see you around a lot. You're very involved locally as well. So your feet are on the ground. Your boots are on the ground, as they say. I like that. You really have the heartbeat of our area. So you represent well, I think.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I really enjoy what I do.
And it's shown, because you have a list of awards. I've got looks like over 29 that are listed here. Do you have some favorite ones? Like I love the Take Stock in Children that you got an award in 2024, Champion of Education Award, commitment to providing scholarships, mentors, and hope through education and your efforts to further the mission of Take Stock in Children. You serve on St. Lucie County Education Board, and we have a nonprofit, Bella Healing Hearts Foundation. Small, it's a boutique. My husband and I still self-fund that, and we partnered with them to give a scholarship for seniors from single-parent homes, because we want to give that leg up. What do you enjoy your role there? Like, how long have you been on that board?
I've been on the foundation board for about a year and a half. I am probably the worst board member they have, because during committee weeks and session, I only can participate via Zoom. And if we're in committee, I can't leave a committee to be on the meeting. So, but when I am in town and when I can, I am there. I try to stay as active as possible and attend their events, and I enjoy it. Tom does such a good job, and his heart is so big. And we really need education foundations throughout our state. And we do have some spectacular ones. I'm partial to ours, of course, but our schools need the additional support. Yes. And I think getting that through community efforts, and when we're all engaged, everybody's better.
Amen to that. I have such a passion for education, because in my world, I share in the book about it, but I was all set to go to university. I was supposed to go to university, but out of fear, I did not, because I was afraid to leave the only love that I perceived from this relationship I had with a boyfriend. So I did the generational repeat thing and married him a year after high school, but God brought that back around. And during my single mom years, when that marriage fell apart, he brought education back. And I took a step. I was an insurance agent at the time, and I got an epiphany. I was like, I did not see myself doing this for a long time. I knew I wanted to help others, like people were helping my daughter and I. And I said, I knew I wanted to help and make a difference. And I had volunteered for a boys' home, and I saw that need. These boys had no moms. They were in a home, and their families were broken. And that just spoke to me. That was my first seed that I wanted to be in that arena with at-risk children and people that are broken, because I was from that brokenness. But education was part of the learning process. And I'm just passionate about children and teens. Education it's not about the degree per se, it's the process. The whole idea of meeting people and gaining perspective outside yourself gives you hope. and gives you understanding of who you are and what you can bring to the world at large. And I'm just so passionate about it. And I love what you're doing there. And then the roundtable here in our county, I don't know if many years ago, I wasn't on the board, but I attended meetings because I cared and I wanted to know and I wanted to make a difference. So I was attending those meetings and learning a lot. The sheriff was there at the time. There were several other people that I met. But our community, every community needs folks to wrap their arms around those that are going through something. And some of it's temporary, some of it's long-term, like mental health. My mom experienced some of that, and it ran in the family. I lost an uncle last year. It was before my dad passed. My uncle Mickey committed suicide. And it's a heart thing for me too. So if we all step up and each every person, just one thing, you do what you're gifted at, you do what is bothering you, you help, just step up one. If we all did it, everything would be better. Like you're saying, everything's better like that. Do you have anything else any other awards that stick out for you? You have a whole list. Is there some others that you had that touch your heart in a certain way?
They
you
all
got
mean
a Florida Mental Health Advocacy Coalition Award.
My aunt committed suicide. We have that in common. And depression ran through my family as well. And I think because of that, my mom, it was the day I was born, my aunt committed suicide. So,
oh my gosh. Holy
yes.
moly, double whammy, an ecstatic and then oh my gosh. That's
our family, I was little, but I'm sure it affected me as a child because my mom went through so much sorrow at that time.
Yes.
But it affected my brother profoundly. I hear that I never knew him any differently because I wasn't born yet, but they say that he was never the same afterwards.
Yeah.
So it does affect, it's not just something that affects that person, it affects the entire family.
And that affects our community at large. What happens in families, it goes outward. As we know, healthy families create healthy communities. So the opposite is true. And we see that. Played out. I love what you're doing. I love the mental health arena that people are starting to talk about things. So it's not, people don't have to sit home in shame and keep their depression silent because that just gets worse. I love that it's okay now. People can reach out and ask for help. I would love us to figure out a way where we have better help. Because I have a brother too that has some things he struggles with, and there's nowhere for people to go unless I don't know of the places. Everywhere, all the ones I've talked to, they have a hard time getting the help when it's time. And addiction too. That's another arena that there's so much more to do. And I know our world's large, and I know we can make a difference. It's just one little thing at a time. So blended family. Now, is this your first marriage together, both you and your hubby?
No, I was married before and I had my 2 children. And of course, he was married before and he has 2 children. So he is.
We're second marriages together too. We have so much in common.
Paul is the best. I call him Perfect Paul. He has been, he's been a great dad to my kids. He really has. And he's just been the most supportive husband. He wants me to do all the things that I want to do and just be the best version of myself. And he pushes me off the ledge and wants me to fly. He's just amazing. I'm so lucky to have him in my life.
A blessing. And that's what our people really need to hear from us older. Everyone to take someone young under their wing is a good idea, because wait for the best one. Like when I was that single mom, I so wanted to be loved. So it wasn't pretty in my beginning in the journey. I was so looking and just wanting to be accepted and loved by anybody. It's dangerous. But when you wait for God's best, he will match you if you just trust and have faith and ask. Yeah, pray about that. That's a big destiny decision of who you hook up with, because a healthy partnership, you're meant to be your best, and you each make each other better. So Yeah, you met Scott. Scott, he's that guy who sees me, and he, like your hubby, Paul, he says, go do that, go be that, and go for it. And we're each other's best friends, and that makes the difference. So our young people, if you're listening or watching, take your time with a partner selection, right, Dana? And let the person, if they don't support you, if they don't respect you, pause, take your time.
Amen.
And the blended, I know my second book's going to talk about that. So, and for mine, every blended is different. I've done a lot of research. I've talked to a lot of folks in the community, and every blended family is different because, and maybe you'll agree with this, it's the hearts involved, and every heart has to say yes or no and be willing and be open to what God is hoping to do through these relationships. Because it is hard, because blended is from broken. There was a first family. There was a first that something happened and there was a hiccup. So it does come with a layer of pain already there. And a lot of times in my situation, they're still healing. Like my daughter was a young preteen, and they're still healing. And the other, like Scott's children, they did not want anything to do with that. And I understand, but it's hard for everyone. There's some encouragement for those that are in blended when they're facing those tough times, because it's harder on a marriage. Like marriage is difficult or challenging at times, but the blended has another whole layer sometimes of what to work through together as a family. Do you have some suggestions or encouragement for those in blendeds?
I do. I think that you have to be conscious about the choices that you make. Yeah. We both had previous marriages, and we could have chosen, like a lot of people do, to just say, I don't like that person. Even though at one point you loved that person, yes. We can make the choice to say, I don't like them. But we made the choice to allow our previous partners into our life. So whenever anything was happening, an occasion, a special occasion, a birthday, vacations, whatever, we still do. We're going on vacation with all the kids, all the grandkids, and my husband's ex-wife in 2 weeks, because it's just, why would we want to deny the grandkids the opportunity to spend time with their grandparents?
With everyone. Wow, yes. That's very beautiful. And if it could be done, that is very beautiful. Very beautiful.
It's not perfect. It's never perfect, no. But life's not perfect.
No.
And, even in the best of situations, families are not perfect. But we just are very conscious about the decisions that we make. And we want to include everyone.
I like that. And every situation is different. Like we weren't able to do that. There's reasons, and I won't go into it here, but we tried. We like in my heart, I took everything to prayer, and we had rough acclimation years, as I call it, but I kept my heart open, and I said, okay, I'm going to love what Scott loves. I love who Scott loves. I'm going to like what Scott likes, and vice versa. Like we're going to be open. Now, God did a thing with him and my daughter where, like Paul, Jesse had my daughter had a spot in her heart open and available. And Scott he's like her dad. He's Papa Scott. And my situation with the girls was different. Did not have the open heart or a spot open. They had a mom, and I wasn't going to be their mom. I was just going to be another person in their life that was a good influence and a friend and a mentor. And so and then they had each other. So it's the three. Everyone has a different heart condition, and we understand. But their mom, and they have their mom. We always respected the other parent in the beginning. Maybe there were mistakes made. Each of us did some different things, like the acclimation stuff. But there were some challenges. But I think if anyone's going through some things with blended, love and respect go a long way, and keeping things peaceful. And getting help. Get outside your own home, get outside your own family. And I don't know about you, Dana, date nights saved my husband and I when we were going through the weeds, the really hard stuff. Getting out of the house even when we weren't talking to each other. I don't know if you had date nights. Do you do date nights?
Date nights. we like to cook. So our date nights are often at home because I'm not home a lot. And we decide to try something new, and we'll get in the kitchen and just go to town. And usually it turns out pretty good, but it's fun to do that together. Yeah.
I like it. Scott loves to cook. I'm a recipe girl. I just do it when the mood hits. We were actually just talking about, because I collect recipe books, and I was like, Scott, we should just do recipe night and invite people over. Like, we should just do that and then see who comes. So let's see here. Oh my gosh. So the Roundtable of St. Lucie County you're involved in, and then the Career Source Florida Board of Directors. You're still doing that too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so we're going to start. Is there anything else on your heart that you want to share? Like things you've learned along the way that would be helpful for all of us, like with regards to stepping out in faith, which you did. How about, we need good voices in politics. Politics doesn't have to be this bad word, I don't think. And division doesn't have to happen just because everyone has a different belief or a party. I really believe we're meant to be different and have different views, but it's all about we're all beings first, right?
It's interesting because when I'm at home, you can see the division more clearly. But when I'm in Tallahassee, where you would think that you would see the division more clearly, we're actually all very close. It does, like our parties, we have maybe 2 or 3 bills every year that are probably party line bills that are really just rooted in what our core beliefs are as a party. But other than that, the vast majority of all of the things that we vote on are bipartisan. And we can, where at home, it seems like if we have a really powerful, heated conversation about an issue, sometimes that can ruin a friendship. But when we're in Tallahassee and we're on the floor on TV and we are debating hard about our issues, we will leave that chamber, high five, and go have dinner together with the people that we just, were in a heated debate with. So it's very, very different in different places. But I think it's important to have those conversations at home. And it doesn't mean I don't love you. And it doesn't mean that we can't be friends. It just means that, isn't it amazing that we both bring different perspectives to an issue? And sometimes that's when you can find the best solutions, is when you bring the differences together. So I think that's really important. I would say to everyone, don't believe what you read. Don't believe what you read in the paper. Don't believe what you watch, on TV. I have come home. I have looked at the television and seen myself in a news clip, and I've looked at that and said, that is not what happened. Like the story and the clip are 2 different things. And it's very, very bothersome to me. Yes, there's just the integrity of the media is wrong. So pick up the phone, call us. We are all
go see you. They let everyone. So I'm glad to hear that. So we should all come visit and go see for ourselves in person how it's done, and go watch and learn. And we forget the media is controlled. So what you're listening to or watching, in control of those videos and the clips and what's being said. And that's why I'm a book reader. I have my hard copy book. I'm going to hold the book and I'm going to see it and read it myself versus reading something online, because that's controlled by someone else. And who is that person? That's a good question. This reminds me of a story my husband told me once. He was in a courtroom when he was a police officer in a case, and he was watching the attorneys go to town, man. It was bad. He said it was rough. And then he went out and had dinner afterwards, and he saw those 2 attorneys at the bar having a drink, and they were the besties of friends. I mean, but you know what? That's awesome, because everyone is passionate. You should be passionate about your job, be passionate about what you're doing in life. But at the end of the day, hey, I respect what you had to say, and I thank you for respecting what I had to say, and then go from there. And The synergy happens, Dana. You guys experience it all the time in those meetings you're in. And a lot of us could say too, when you sit down in a meeting with people of strangers, all backgrounds, you all share something. Synergy happens when we're all involved. That's meant to happen. You can't be, oh, we all should believe and do the same thing. That's not humankind. Look at nature. Nature's full of colors and life and different things. It's beautiful, right? We're all beautiful together. So, all right, Dana, do you have a favorite book? Besides the Bible, probably.
Yes, the Bible. Let's put that one aside because that's always going to be the favorite.
That's my main book. But what's your favorite, or one of your favorites?
My favorite book is always the one that I'm reading at the time.
Good answer.
So right now I'm reading Your Next Conversation by Jefferson Fisher.
Oh,
it is so good. I've actually read it, highlighted it, and listened to it on audio twice.
Wow. All right. I'm taking notes on that one. Your next
it is
Jonathan Fisher?
Jefferson Fisher.
Jefferson. Okay.
Yes. I started watching him on Instagram. He gives these, little 47-second, clips of advice.
Oh.
He's just very endearing. And then I found out that he had a book, and it's just amazing. And my big takeaway is you're from the book, so many, but probably the biggest is don't win it's just not necessary. Like you don't have to win the argument.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember in pre-counseling from before our marriage, our pastor told my husband something about that. Like, do you want to be right or do you oh, I can't remember what he said. It had to do with the relationship. Like, what's more important in the end? It's similar. I love that. That is profound. Now, if you could sit down with anyone, past or present, and have a cup of coffee or cappuccino or a glass of wine with, who would it be and why?
It'd be my brother. Yeah, I miss him so much. And he was such a big and still is such a great influence on my life. But when I moved away, he was sick. Probably subconsciously, one of the reasons I moved away, one of the many, many reasons just to get away. Yeah. And I'd really like to just spend some time with him. My son reminds me so much of him. I feel like I got a twofer because my son is just an angel in my heart. And sometimes I look at him and I can just see my brother's spirit come through.
I love it. Oh, now, we mentioned the word mentor. Do you have a mentor that sticks out in your life? You mentioned the one mentor. I don't know if she'll be the same one, but do you have someone in your life that if they weren't there at that moment, it would have made a big deal difference?
Yeah, funny. I'm in Tampa right now, and my son and I play chess over the phone, with an app. And we had played the other night, and I said, hey, look, if you win, I'll take you to dinner wherever you want to go. So he won. And so I'm in Tampa. I took him to dinner last night. And we were talking about people that have just made a big, profound difference in my life. And for me, it was my coach. And coaches are so important, for youth and, adults too. But my coach growing up, her name was Sharon Jones. And I was kind of a lost kid. And my parents, I said they had kind of a messy thing going on. And not only was she very compassionate and wanted me to do my best, but she held my feet to the fire. She gave me no breaks. And a lot of ways, I think she probably saved my life.
That is so amazing. Yeah. So that's why each of us, look around, just take time to say hi to somebody and be available wherever we are in life. If you're at the place where you need the mentor, ask someone like I do, ask them out for coffee. All they could do is say no. Ask them if you can meet with them once a month or talk on the phone or meet in person. And if you're on the other side where your life is going pretty balanced, because there's always stuff going on, that's life, be available. Look for someone, make a phone call, because you never know. You never know what you're going to do or say to that person. It's just now, if you were to talk to your younger self, Dana, or someone at very similar junctures of where you would come from, what would you say to them? What would you say right now?
If I were able to talk to my younger self,
yeah, or someone in some similar circumstances where at a place in your life where maybe you were uncertain and things like that.
Say it's not going to be easy, but we were never guaranteed easy, but it's going to be worth it. So don't stop.
Isn't that, I don't know where it comes from, and I'm one of them, a Hallmark girl, probably. We have this thinking that we just want everything to be rosy and perfect and loving and yes, but yeah, where did we get the idea there wasn't going to be hardship? I don't know. But that was excellent that you said that. That is excellent. Yeah. So, oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you got to sit here with us today. And I really appreciate you, Dana. Thank you so much. I know you are on social media, so folks want to go see you. They can find you on Facebook, Instagram, right? And they can call you at the House of Representatives and they can come see you in action and make an appointment, right? You love to have visitors up in Tallahassee.
I like to have visitors here too. We're about to move our office. We're moving from the college, which IRSC has been so gracious to offer us a place there. But we're moving over to the county administration building next month because I think we can serve people better there because not everybody goes to the college, but eventually everybody goes to the county building. I want people to know they can just, stop by and have a conversation and say hello or know that if they have an issue, they can come and hopefully we can help them resolve it.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And that's on Virginia Ave, the county building?
It is.
Okay, beautiful. So Dana Trabulsy, our House of Representative, thank you so much for coming on the Junk to Jules podcast. You guys look her up, go see her, go talk to her. And I think, yes, let's go in person and see what's happening in our political realm, because we'd probably all be surprised that there are good things happening and not everything we hear or see on the news is as accurate as we would all have hoped for. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching this podcast, everyone. Have a blessed day and don't give up.